You are listening to the Special Needs Children podcast with Chitra Iyer. Chitra Iyer is a parent of 22-year-old Shravan Iyer who has epilepsy, cerebral palsy and autism. She is the CEO of MFA and has been helping families with life-centered planning to reach their personal financial goals. She is also a trustee of a parent support group, the Forum for Autism, which was set up almost 2 decades ago. MFA is a 16-year-old organization working in the personal finance space. They have set up a dedicated practice to help families with special needs children to plan their financial goals and invest for them. The thoughts shared here are as a result of discussions with parents, caregivers, siblings and professionals regarding the planning of a person with special needs. In this episode, Miss Gopika Kapoor is in conversation with Chitra Iyer. Chitra Iyer talks about her journey as a special needs parent, how she helped set up FFA and the importance of financial planning for special needs children.
Welcome to yet another Beyond the Blues chat. I am so happy to have with me my friend Chitra Iyer. Welcome, Chitra.
Thank you so much, Gopika. Thank you so much for having me.
So I have to admit that before I give Chitra's formal introduction, I remember when Veer was diagnosed, shortly after that, it must have been 5 or 6 months after that, it was in the monsoon, so it was about 6 months, there was a Forum for Autism event at Tata Memorial Hospital in Mumbai, and I had gone for that. And my first image of Chitra was this woman in this brightly colored sari with bright lipstick and smiling so much. And I remember, Chitra, this is like a bit of a fangirl moment for me doing this chat with you, because I looked at you and I was, of course, going through my own stages of grief at that time. And I said, look at this woman. She's smiling. She has a kid on the spectrum and she's smiling. And if she can do it, maybe I can do it too. So, Chitra, this is the kind of inspiration that you have been. Seriously. I mean, it's just from your smile, you inspire so many people. And you're always smiling. I have never not seen you smiling, honestly, really. So, thank you for the smile.
Oh God, Gopika. I don't know what to say.
So, now your formal introduction. Chitra is a cost accountant and a certified financial planner with 25 years of experience in the financial services sector. She is the Chief Executive Officer at MFA, and she heads verticals that cater to business owners, corporate executives, celebrities, and as well as families with special needs children. She is super enthusiastic, as we all, those who know her, know this. She's committed to making a meaningful difference in people's lives through the right goal-based investing for their family, and she has really built the culture of MFA and established a happiness factory, which I can imagine just looking at you that you would have done something like that. She believes in a healthy lifestyle and she's participated in more than 20 marathons till date. And she is a mother to Shravan, who she describes as blissful, and having seen him, I can totally vouch for that. She's a trustee at Forum for Autism, which is an NGO and parent support group for parents of children with autism. And we will be talking more about that as well. She's been an advocate for the rights of people with autism and is very actively involved in the campaign to raise awareness and educate parents, professionals, and the community about autism. Chitra, again, really so thrilled to have you here. So tell me, Shravan is 22 now. And I can imagine that when you got his diagnosis, how did you get his diagnosis? What was it like? What were your experiences like? Could you share a little bit about that?
Sure. First of all, thanks a ton, Gopika, for that introduction, and thank you for having me over. It's amazing seeing you, interviewing so many families and so many parents and hearing their stories. It's very inspiring for me what you're doing. Your book has been amazing, and I hope more people read it.
Thank you.
So coming to your chats that you're doing, thanks again. Please keep doing this. It's someone or the other will be hearing and listening, and will really it'll move them, even if it's an inch. It's okay. Thoda जुड़ के हो जाएगा. So coming to your question, you know,
चित्रा,
to
if you
thank
don't mind, हम थोड़ा सा इंग्लिश हिंदी दोनों में बोले,
Sure,
चलेगा?
sure.
Okay, super.
100%. बिल्कुल चलेगा. So 1998 was when Shravan was born, and full term baby. हमें कभी लगा ही नहीं था कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगा इसमें. तो, मैंने ब्रेक ले ली थी तभी तक, and I was just waiting, and my whole I had already done 15 years in my career in terms of investment banking, corporate banking. I took a break, and I was getting into this. He was born uh, just before the day he was born. The doc told me that actually there is he is losing his heartbeat.
Okay.
It's going faint, and we need to get him out fast. So I said, okay, fine, let's do it right now. And I was all excited, yay, I'm going to become a mom. And it didn't strike me also, as to what this guy is saying. Hindsight, he should never have delivered my baby. We should have gone to a Masina or
Right.
any of the NICU places and delivered Shravan. And so this guy delivered, and exactly the way say a Dr. Dani or Vibha describes those crucial days and hours post birth, when instantly feeding needs to happen, monitoring needs to be done in terms of levels of the child. All of that, went amiss. Of course, Shravan came out with 3 knots on the umbilical cord. So the doc just showed him to me and said, hey, you've had a boy. And the only thing registered was I have a boy before I just, knocked off, and I saw and he said, and he has 3 knots. And I was like, I don't know what the meaning of that, but I have had a baby. In 2 days, the seizure started. We were just plain lucky that the pediatrician who came there, she took a risk and she ran with my baby and Ravi, my husband, to Masina Hospital, where he was under Dr. Cyrus contractor, and he was in the NICU for 20 plus days. We didn't know if we were taking him home. Doctor had just told us that just pray, because the nutrients haven't reached him. And all of the whatever we are going to do for him now, we don't know what are going to be the after effects of this, because there will be antibiotics going in. There will be a lot of they need to pump in a lot of stuff into him, and make him survive. Of course, he survived. He's always been a fighter, and we came home. 1.5 years was just struggling in figuring out what was seizures and understanding epilepsy, getting MRIs done, getting ECGs done, repeated visits to Hinduja Hospital, and figuring out various kind of drugs to say what will settle him down, because he used to get these ticks, jerks throughout the day. And I used to count at that time a baby that small getting 150 jerks a day. And the doctor was saying that all of this will impact his brain.
Right.
Still, we didn't understand what we were in for. Right? 6 months down, when we go back to the pediatrician again with all the reports and saying that, hey, we are doing all of this, then slowly the word cerebral palsy came into our lives. That's when we figured, I started reading. Like, oh my God, what is this?
Right.
So, neighbor, we were at my mom's place, and her neighbor, a doctor, pediatrician, came in, looked at him, heard the diagnosis, and said, hey, your kid is never going to sit, and he's never going to go to school. That hit us so bad. It was like somebody was saying it very matter of fact, and for me, it was like complete.
Yeah.
I was like, "What are you saying, man? How can you say this?" And anyways, the huge thing that happened in life is Ravi being extremely positive, and me immediately, I have always had this instinct of now, हो गया है, अभी क्या करें? अगला भी क्या करें? So then I said, नहीं, ये नहीं हो सकता है. Let's just get cracking and see what do we have to do. So we went back, started therapy immediately. So I was doing physiotherapy. I was doing occupational therapy for him. Instantly we started. We went around checking for his eyesight. The doctor said, you come late. You should come at age 1.5. While we went at 2. By then, I was doing daily therapy. Physiotherapy, whatever the therapist was saying, I was coming home and doing it like, at least 4-5 times at home. Again, I'm lucky I got Asha Chitras to help us. Again, from there, we met Dr. Anjali Joshi. That happened purely because of Forum for Autism. I landed up meeting Deena Modak, who set up FFA. I mean, we were together, and she said, "Hey, we've got this first conference on autism being conducted by Mary Baru of Action for Autism." And I'm like, "Okay, what is this?" I got to hear of her because I was always into a lot of physical stuff. Like I was into aerobics non-stop. In spite of Shravan, somewhere I had to find like half an hour, 45 minutes for myself and try to work out. There, somebody guided me to her, thankfully. And I landed up at a workshop for autism without a diagnosis for my child. But everything that Mary said, I was like, oh my God, this is it, this is it, this is it. Yes, he's doing this, he's doing that. This is not happening, this is not happening, this is not happening. All of that. And I was making huge notes, what all I should be doing in the mock group. And after that, age of 3.5, Vibha diagnosed him with secondary traits of autism.
Right.
That's how we finally got this diagnosis of epilepsy plus cerebral palsy plus autism. Of course, automatically the focus was on motor skills because he was in a wheelchair. I had to carry him around everywhere, and he was not yet sitting, standing, walking. Everything came very late. By the age of 6, he was standing. Then he was walking. So yeah, that was a huge move. Every single thing has been a huge moment for us. But everyone said he can't do this. He can't do that. And even within our parent support group, Forum for Autism, people used to say, whatever you're doing now, keep doing that. Every time we see there's an improvement, you're doing something right. And that just kept us going, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how, the whole diagnosis thing happened for us. We're so blessed that we have had the best therapists. I always say, if it weren't for an Anjali who came into our life, if it weren't for Dr. Vibha, if these guides weren't there for us, don't know where, we would have been. They were all there at the right time for Shravan to be able to do the next things. Of course, a lot of reading went in because I used to literally tell the therapist, now next what?
Right.
You tell me what I should do next, because I used to see everybody around. I used to read, and then I used to go back and say, okay, now he's placing his hands. Now he's placing his, he's pushing himself up. Now what? Now how can we push him to sit? So that was my journey. A lot of it is just blanked out, Gopika. I can't really remember because I think.
True. Very true. I know. It's like you just kind of glazed through the whole thing. I know what you mean. And actually, what struck me is so important what you said about how you celebrated everything. Because I think really when you think about you talk to the parents of any child who's neurodiverse, and they will tell you that we celebrate the littlest of things, and those are the things that bring us the most joy. And you realize that that's true. It's those families who celebrate those little victories. Which are so important to all of us. It's just really amazing. And that is what makes our life meaningful.
Yeah, because we've seen that there was nothing and then it starts adding up the
exactly. So in all this time, FFA, you kept talking about FFA, and Forum for Autism, as we all know, is a support group for parents of children with autism. And so tell me about FFA. It's been around for 20 years. I didn't realize it had been so long. But yeah, I'm guessing, that because these diagnosis was almost 13 and a half years ago and it was around then. So 20 years would probably be the right time. So how did you get involved? Because you said that Deena Modak took you to this event with Mary. So how did it all happen?
So already Deena and a couple of other parents had started, unofficially they had already set up Forum for Autism, if you see. Right. Because there were a bunch of mothers who were meeting together at a school with their kids, and they were saying, how can we push to set up and help more parents?
Right.
And with guidance with a couple of all the professionals, doctors, they decided that okay, we should set up a formal structure, and that's where I got involved in the first stage itself. I got I got in as one of the original trustees, and we set up. It was majority mothers, couple of fathers, and we said that yes, we have to work at raising awareness. And for me, I think it was, I wasn't thinking about work at all. For me, the focus was completely Shravan. And then this, what was being spoken about, how can we reach out and what can we do for our own kids and for many more by working at absolute grassroots, getting awareness done in our community, across community, and so many people we had to reach out to and talk to, because those days nobody knew the word autism, right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
movies and all happened much later.
Nobody knew. I know.
And so we got together and we used to meet religiously. We used to the Forum for Autism library got set up at Churchgate.
Right.
I used to go there on Saturdays with Shravan, and we used to meet new parents there physically. Newly diagnosed parents would be sent by Dr. Dani, Dr. Gopika, as well as Dr. Anaita Hegde from Just Hospital to meet us, to talk to us and understand. There is so many questions. Parents at that time, nobody was going on the net as much, right?
No.
To read. So people really came and spent a couple of hours there asking what's going to happen to my child. Am I doing the right thing? What is available? What should I read? And those little books really, really help. Even now, I feel go back to read, it really helps. So yeah, I read a lot. I read a lot with everyone, and Forum for Autism did fantastic work through, raising funds also for, economically anybody who is
Right.
challenged, and if we could help them in any ways. If somebody approached us and said, "Hey, I need to get my kid into school, and I don't have the money, I don't have the wherewithal, can you please help me out?" So that came early on, where we need to start parallelly raising funds, because we are an NGO, we are a registered charitable trust. So, with the pure focus of educating parents and professionals both, the whole focus of Purpose came in, and I'm so blessed that I have so many wonderful people whom I've met. Everyone, Parul, Alka, Babita, every single person, Raghunathan. It's been really amazing. And now the new set of mothers and parents, younger parents,
Right.
Darshna, Guru, Rajendra, everybody has stepped in and they're taking it on further. So we know that uh, we need to hold on to each other real strong, real tight, and we can move mountains. I have gone personally to the Pune University for the Maharashtra State Board with our friends. Shravan never was in a school, right? But it didn't matter. It was just about concessions for our children. We've physically gone there and got the concessions done. That's the way we took every single thing. That if we have to go meet the GRPF, it was Sulekha who moved the railway police. She moved the traffic police. How
Right.
do we get police on our side if a child goes missing? Who on earth are we supposed to call?
Yes.
How do we get the missing persons bureau activated? So fantastic work, I would say, till now, and lots more to do. But at least we're much stronger than when we started, and we hope to continue doing this.
Superb. That's so inspiring, and I mean, I'm just thinking about how you managed to. So you went to Pune University and did this. You did your Zumba class or aerobics class or whatever it was.
Nair Hospital,
Yeah.
Adi, which is the unit for autism, got done by us because we went to Dr. Sanjay Oak, who was then at KEM Hospital.
Right.
He took us to the mayor. And Shravan got his head massaged by the mayor. We still have a photo of
Okay.
that. And I mean, he has this thing about getting everybody's hand on his head. Then we have a unit in a hospital. Whoever thought, we were in shock that we got space.
Amazing.
It's amazing, yeah.
Really, really fantastic. And through all this, you've become CEO of MFA. You got into financial planning. So how did you get into financial planning? And more importantly, I want to ask you that with all this going on with Shravan in your life, how on earth did you go back to work? Because I know from having worked with kids and their families, having been a mom myself, that when a child gets a diagnosis, invariably, I would say, I mean, I don't have a statistic for this, but more than 95% from what I have seen and from whatever I can see, if both parents are working, the mother will persist up to a point, and then after some time she says, you know what, I can't do this, and I cannot cart my child for therapy here and there. I cannot sit and work with my child. I cannot do this, and so invariably the woman will give up her job. So how did you persist? How did you manage to do all this?
Destiny, Gopika, my God. Yes, I never thought of getting back to work. Never ever thought. And around when Shravan was 8 years old, Ravi started telling me, listen, you need to think about what all you've done. Somewhere in life, you need to get back to getting your mind occupied with something other than autism. Autism is going to be there with us for the rest of our lives. But don't you want to go back to work? And I was like, no, I don't want to. And I didn't even give it a thought. Meanwhile, somebody randomly approached me to join them and sent me a book on financial planning to read. And while Shravan was in school, I was outside reading this book. Okay. And the book was so weird, Gopika, I can't tell you. Nobody reads such books. It's like, how to tools to have a virtual office.
Okay.
Okay. And I mean, it's complete fate that the founder of MFA, Amar Pandit, just saw me reading the book because he was reading the same book.
Oh.
And the first question to me is, why are you reading this book? And then he invited me and he said, please, will you come in and sit and read here? Don't sit out here. So I walked into the office and he shared with me that he is a financial planner, one of the first financial planners in our country. He just come back from the US and set up his office just 6 months ago. And what he spoke about financial planning sounded very interesting to me. Both me and Ravi are commerce grads.
Right.
And MCom, but then I was a cost accountant. But still, the way he explained that you need to know why do you need money, why do you need money before understanding how to go about it.
Right.
The whole thing is inverted in our industry, in our whole environment, is that people just keep selling you products. And right from the lift man to maybe a relative will know exactly which product they should sell to you.
Right.
So what he was saying sounded so interesting that we first signed up as clients. That don't you want to know how much you want for yourself when you retire? Don't you want to know how much you need for your child? So he was pretty intrigued by this. That I was sitting and reading all this in spite of having a Shravan, and then he was understanding all of this. And we first signed up as clients. He said that this should really help us. And then he said, why don't you join me? It would be really nice because I think with your kind of experience and with you guys, the way you all are connected, because Ravi and me have always had a huge set of friends. Super, we're blessed again there. Thank you, God, that we have wonderful friends. And he said, but you start whenever your kid is in school, now come.
Okay.
And that's how I got started. Then he said, I can't pay you a huge salary, but at which he, till date, he tells everyone that I started at a particular salary figure. But, and we were small, and that's how I joined up. I loved it. I loved what I was doing because it was so rewarding when we saw that it helped us personally in terms of understanding and giving us a clear roadmap of how we are supposed to do what towards seeing that for whatever need comes up in life, we will have money.
Yeah.
We can take small steps, but we can do it.
We can do it, yeah.
So we started reaching out to all my friends, and that's how, this whole thing happened. And everybody, our friends have been therapists. Our friends have been our school friends, our college friends, our ex-colleagues. All of them walked in, and again, thanks to the way he is, that I got to become CEO. We have a team size of 70 people today.
So how many years have you worked there at MFA?
I've finished 16 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really, really.
And we now have a special practice only for special needs parents.
Wow.
Because a lot of parents started approaching him saying that, Chitra, you've done it. You must have done something right. No?
Right.
So please handhold us. So
that's
we set up that, and that's how financial planning came into my life. And I'm thankful that, again, I have one of the best places to work that, I am part of. and a beautiful team where I have the best of friends there who understand where I'm coming from, what are my challenges. They understand the entire special needs families, thinking and their challenges. So yeah, it's been amazing.
That's amazing.
And you mentioned Happiness Factory, so I'll just tell you quickly. We have our own fintech. We have our own fintech company called the Happiness Factory that we set up, where any Indian from across the world can come and invest in India.
Oh, okay. Fabulous.
So that also helps our families where they can do their entire legal side of planning, for which we work with lawyers.
Okay.
Help them with all the legal documents that a parent with special needs, like a disability certificate. What do you do for that?
Right.
Legal guardianship. When do you do that? Where do you go? You need a letter of intent. You need to make your will. You need to make your trust. Then you need to do your financial planning. So we have a very beautiful process that we take them through.
Okay.
And guide them and handhold them about, So around, we get families from all over the world now who are Indians, especially obviously in India, and then across who are there who keep asking, what do I need to do for my child for after me? So that's the biggest concern, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
What happens after me? What am I going to do? How am I going to secure this money that I need for my child? So that, there is no kind of financial abuse and it goes actually to my child and it stays there for as long as my child is there, and whatever lifestyle I want for my child, that should be there for him, for her.
Right.
So that's what we are working on.
Okay, that's fabulous. So I'm going to ask you a little more technical question now. I'm going to ask about when you said you do this. I'm going to ask you about when should parents start planning this, and what is a trustee, what is a guardian, and what is the difference between the two, and who should they appoint as a trustee and a guardian?
Sure. So most importantly, start as soon as possible.
Okay.
The earlier you start, the more time you're giving your money to grow.
Right.
That is the simplest concept in terms of financial planning. That we all know that we want to set aside enough money for our child. We all know that we want to live our full lives. We want to obviously also take our holidays. We want to live well. We want to secure our health. There should be enough money for everything.
Right.
So I meet a lot of families that say, "मैम टाइम ही नहीं मिलता, इतना कुछ है करने के लिए, तो फिर मैं ये कहाँ से करूँ? ये भी आप अभी करने को बोल रहे हो, किस तरह से करूँ मैं?" So I tell them, नहीं, आपको निकालना पड़ेगा टाइम. अगर आपको और कोई ऐसा नहीं होता है कि दूसरे लोगों को कोई प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं है, उनको भी प्रॉब्लम्स रहती हैं, लेकिन उसके लिए आपको टाइम निकालना जरूरी है और आपको ये समझना पड़ेगा. मैं सिंप्लीफाई कर सकती हूँ, लेकिन आपको ये करना जरूरी है. सो टेक आउट टाइम वेरी अर्ली ऑन. आपके पास 10,000 रुपए और आपको लग रहा है कि मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है इनफ, ऐसा नहीं होता है. जिसके पास 10,000 रह के वो 1,000 सेव कर सकता है और इन्वेस्ट कर सकता है, वही जब 1 लाख है तभी 10,000 सेव करेगा. ये मेंटल हैबिट है और कुछ नहीं, डिसिप्लिन है कि लोगों को जल्दी से जल्दी ये करना बहुत जरूरी है. So yes, financial planning needs to start the minute you realize, oh God, I've done nothing.
Okay.
That also involves taking care of insurances. I want to make a special mention here that how to cover yourself for health insurance as well as for life insurance is so important for our families, especially during COVID. We've had cases where जो कमा रहा है, the earning member, अगर उसने इंश्योरेंस नहीं ली और वो उनको कुछ हो गया, वो गुजर गए, तो फिर उन पर जो डिपेंडेंट है, उनकी बीवी और उनका बच्चा, वो भी स्पेशली उनको पैसा कहाँ से मिलेगा? वो दूसरे पर निर्भर. दे हैव टू रिलाई ऑन अदर्स. कितने केसेस ऐसे हुए हैं कि उनको वापस अपने पेरेंट्स के पास जाना पड़ा, उनके इन-लॉज ने घर से निकाल दिया. तो जो अर्निंग मेंबर है उसने इंश्योरेंस लेना बहुत जरूरी है अपने फैमिली के लिए, क्योंकि हमको कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है. ऐसा मत सोचो कि नहीं मुझे कुछ नहीं होगा, ऐसा नहीं है. दूसरा है कि इन फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग द अदर थिंग, हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस का जो मैंने बोला, यस, हमको हमारे बच्चों के लिए ज्यादातर हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस मिलता नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी उसमें मेरा माया है, वो अगर हो सके तो ले लीजिए. और उसके अलावा स्टार हेल्थ है, जहाँ एक सिंगल पॉलिसी अवेलेबल है ऑटिज्म के लिए एटलीस्ट,
But
तो वो
वो भी
तो ले
it is only
लीजिए।
for medical conditions, right? And it's some 25. I mean, it's
25 year
25K.
age.
Yeah, 25 up
So
to 25 years of age.
एज,
Right.
वो क्या बोलते हैं कि अगर आपने 20 साल को पॉलिसी ले ली और 25 साल तक आपने प्रूव कर दिया कि आप
अच्छा.
आपके बच्चे को कुछ हुआ नहीं है तो वो कंटिन्यू करेंगे।
Okay, okay.
Anyways, this is all an if and but most important, coming back, bottom line, you need money.
Right.
Government is not going to give you money to take care of your child if you pass
Absolutely.
away or something happens to you, or tomorrow. See, we are a minute away from disability. Tomorrow the fan can fall on your head or you can get hit by a car.
True.
It can happen to anyone.
Very true.
So to secure finances is in our hand, और हमें ही ये करना जरूरी है कि हम we set aside time, we understand किसके पास जाएं, कौन है जिसको मैं ट्रस्ट कर सकता हूँ, कर सकती हूँ, और वो मेरे बच्चे के लिए फ्यूचर का प्लानिंग पूरा कर सकते हैं।
Okay.
तो फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग करना, I can't say enough that अगर आप 30 साल के हो, 40 साल के हो, 50, 60 साल के, प्लीज, it's never too late, but start early.
Right.
जितना जल्दी हो सके. The other question you asked me is about, I think, trusteeship and guardianship, right? So, legal guardian has to be appointed only after age 8.
Okay.
Right? So you have to wait, and then only you can apply. But when you need to apply for, why do you need to make a trust? Let me take it that way.
Okay.
So when you make a trust, you are saying that मेरे पास जितना पैसा है, मुझे मेरे बच्चे के लिए जितना पैसा रखना है, वो मैं एक प्राइवेट ट्रस्ट में रख दूंगा। तो उस ट्रस्ट से जो पैसा आएगा वो सिर्फ मेरे बच्चे के लिए है, मैं उसको हाथ नहीं लगा सकूंगा, right? Whereas a guardian is somebody who after us, यानी after the child turns an adult, parents have to first appoint ourselves as guardians. Not after us, sorry. Parents have to appoint themselves as a guardian when
Even
the
when
child
turns
turns
18.
an adult. Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, so and how
Yeah.
do they do that?
There is a very simple guardianship process which you have to apply online on the National Trust site. And इसका मतलब ये है कि they're saying that when your child has become an adult, can your child take financial decisions on his own? What if you go to a hospital? Can he sign a consent form? What if something happens tomorrow regarding the police? Then what will happen?
Right.
Who is going to sign on his behalf? So parents have to first appoint themselves as the trustee.
So this is very important.
As the guardian.
So ये
as
मैं
the
वापस
guardian.
बोलने वाली हूँ क्योंकि ये बहुत ही important point था, मुझे भी पता नहीं था चित्रा, कि हर पेरेंट को, हर माता पिता को अब जैसे ही उनका बच्चा 18 साल का हो जाए तब नेशनल ट्रस्ट की वेबसाइट पे जाना है और अपने आप को उस बच्चे का गार्डियन अपॉइंट करना है. वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. ओके, थैंक यू.
राइट नाउ गार्डियनशिप क्यों, व्हाई डू यू नीड अ गार्डियन? गार्डियन का मतलब ये है कि वो जो भी डिसीजंस है बच्चे के बारे में, वेदर एजुकेशनल है या हेल्थ रिलेटेड है या कोई भी अगर मटेरियल रिलेटेड, यानी टेकिंग अ डिसीजन अबाउट घर पे कोई आना है बच्चे को संभालने के लिए, ओके, तो या फिर डॉक्टर के पास जाना है, लाइक आई सेड, डॉक्टर के पास जाना है टू टेक अ राइट ऑन द कंसेंट फॉर्म कि हाँ मेरे बच्चे को ये सर्जरी का नीड है, तो गार्डियनशिप certificate is required. Like for example, a friend of mine said that she took her daughter, she had to do a hysterectomy, and the doctor said, "Where is your guardianship certificate for your child?" So that's where the guardianship certificate comes in. Trustee is regarding money, regarding assets. A trust or a trustee is only responsible to take care of the assets part for your child. So, a trustee can be a guardian, but he has to do all the guardianship duties. A guardian can be a trustee. He may need to know about money. Out of the trustees who are there on a trust, we always advise there should be 3 people as trustees, so that no 2 people can just if you have 2 people and both of them decide to run away with the money.
Right.
What do? We are not there. We are not there. So the sequence of this is, after 18, parents appoint themselves as guardians. After us, then another person steps in as a guardian.
Okay.
So someone else has to apply. So maybe By then, hopefully, if I survive for another 20 years, my niece will be 20 years plus, so she'll be 30, so she can step in as guardian for Shravan.
Okay.
So Chitra Iyer will get out as guardian, and Surabhi will come in as the guardian. So
right.
ये हो गया guardianship. Trustees में, when parents are alive, you should set up the trust. Why? Because you want to know कि आज मैंने जो trust set up किया है उसमें मैंने पैसा लगाया है, वो पैसा ये trustees ठीक से निकाल के यूज कर रहे हैं क्या मेरे बच्चे के लिए?
राइट.
अगर वो कर रहे हैं तो आपके सामने दिखेगा. लोगों को क्या लगता है मेरे मरने के बाद ट्रस्ट बना लेंगे, दिल में से बना लेंगे. ऐसा नहीं है. आपको खुद जब आप जिंदा हो तब आपको ट्रस्टी ढूंढने में इतनी मुश्किल और इतनी परेशानी होती है. आपके मरने के बाद और कोई ट्रस्टी बन जाए आपको चलेगा? What kind of responsibility do you have towards your child? Yeah.
Okay, so this is very interesting, and I think it's really clarified a lot of points. और मुझे आपको पूछना था कि कई बार पेरेंट्स सोचते हैं कि you know, with respect to housing, बच्चे कहाँ रहेंगे? So again, this whole after me, where should they live? So I know कि, for example, Forum for Autism is also in the process of looking for land. I know to set up a place. You have Ananda in outside of Delhi. Autism friendly village in Hyderabad. So various ऐसे assisted living facilities है.
Projects.
So I wanted to ask you कि what should parents look for in these projects? उन्हें क्या देखना चाहिए अपने बच्चे के लिए? And most importantly, when should they move their child? बच्चा कब वहाँ पे बच्चा तो बच्चा नहीं रहेगा. It would be an adult. So when should the adult go and live in this assisted living project? Because the reason I'm asking you this is क्योंकि मैंने अलग-अलग चीज सुनी है. तो एक तो सुना है कि while the parents are young and fit and able, the child should go and stay, because especially with children with autism, adjustment, we know transition is difficult for them. So ऐसा नहीं हो कि they lose their parents और अचानक उन्हें पता चले कि बस अभी जो घर है जहाँ पे मैं रह रहा हूँ या रह रही हूँ उसे छोड़कर I have to go and stay in assisted living. It will become very, very difficult for them. So they need to get time to get used to that place. So what is your advice to parents?
So this is very personal, Gopika. So personal. I mean, every time जब भी हम इसके बारे में बात करते हैं तो I think as a mother that I want the pleasure of living with my child for as long as possible, right? There are many theories. There are many parents who have actually managed to do this at a younger age. There are parents who do it at an older age when they are unable to take care of the child, when their health gives way, and they feel that each one of us will have that instinct of this is the time, right? So I think it's a very, very personal decision. But yeah, that said, first step I would feel is first start talking. People don't talk and discuss within themselves. First is the couple. I always advise in my podcast also, I request people that आप पहले तो प्लीज हस्बैंड वाइफ बात कीजिए कि हमें क्या चाहिए. हम बिकॉज अगर द मैन फील्स नहीं मैं मेरे बच्चे को कभी छोड़ ही नहीं सकता हूँ मेरे से दूर, मेरे लाइफ में इमोशनली मेरा सब कुछ निकल जाएगा अगर वैसा लगे. एंड वेयर द वाइफ सेज नहीं ये उसके लिए सही है और हमारे लिए भी ठीक है, so there's a huge disconnect. So first is the husband and wife have to talk to each other to come to any kind of conclusion, which is also very difficult because it keeps hanging in the air that हमने ये कब करना चाहिए. What I can give a certain pointers to think on is that start discussing and thinking. हमारा बच्चा आज अगर 22 साल का है तो 32 जब 32 का है तब कहाँ रहेगा, जब 42 का है तो कहाँ रहेगा, कैसा रहेगा, जब 52 का है तो कहाँ रहेगा, कैसा रहेगा, तभी हम कहाँ रहेंगे. At every stage, add 10 years to your life, add 10 years to your child's life, and then imagine. That gives you a sense of direction. कि हाँ तभी तो हम इतना रहेंगे तो फिर हम हमारे लाइफ में क्या होगा, हमारा करियर क्या कर, what will we be doing, can we afford, can we not afford, what will we have time, will we be healthy, who will be there around us, who all can we resort to. So this kind of a discussion, once it begins within the couple, then with the sibling, and then moves on to the parents and the other people around, because we can't decide this alone. Actually, when we were also thinking in my family, it automatically moves on to my sisters-in-law, my all of them, then my nieces, then the niece's husband. So everyone is involved and everybody's thinking that what should be right for Shravan. So for us, maybe we won't be able to think straight today if we can think of keeping Shravan at another facility. But maybe if we can teach him to stay in another room first to start with, where he stays with a caregiver. There we are training ourselves more than him, because he will adjust. The problem is usually the parents. Wherever mothers and fathers have managed to do this transition, it's that they have always come back saying, मेरे बच्चा बहुत जल्दी adjust हो गया, हमको बहुत तकलीफ हुई. And repeatedly people have said this, because when the child becomes an adult, we are actually we are guilty of taking away their friendships, their want for being independent, we don't anticipate and think, putting ourselves in their shoes. We're very selfish. We want them to, for us to take care of them, for us, because we feel that nobody else can take care of them. We are the ones who can do absolutely all the right things for them. What if something goes wrong? All of that is happening, and I'm guilty of that. And I think it will dawn on us, and slowly we'll move there. But regarding all the facilities that are available, and how a parent should take the step once they've decided, is that please go and visit every single place. जाके देखो, आपको खुद को देख के लगेगा कि हाँ ये बिल्कुल ठीक है, ये लोग बिल्कुल ठीक है मेरे बच्चे के लिए. फिर दूसरे जो पेरेंट्स हैं जिनके बच्चे ऐसे रेसिडेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस में हैं, उनसे बात कीजिए, उनका क्या एक्सपीरियंस रहा है, उनको कितना वो कठिन था, उन्होंने क्या क्या किया, उनके बच्चे के लिए कैसा था, एंड वो कितना ऑफन जब बच्चा घर पे आता है तो उनका माहौल कैसा रहता है, उनको किस तरह से वो खुश रहता है कि नहीं. Mary says it very beautifully that when Neeraj went to Ananda, Neeraj said, "This is my home, and that is Mary's home." So that transition has to happen for the child. So it's so beautiful. There's so much I have learned from all these mothers who have shared their experiences, and it will come to us. I think it cannot be forced, but we have to start talking and thinking, and there has to be an emergency plan. अगर आप कल नहीं हो तो क्या होगा? What if both of us pass away in a car accident? So who is going to immediately step in, and what is going to happen if your entire family is abroad? Who is going to take the immediate action for your child here? All of that has to be documented. All of that has to be written down very much in detail. So I want to touch upon here on a document called the letter of intent. A letter of intent is not a legal document, but it is a document which you have to put your entire story of your child into. Because when you are not there, you're expecting the person who picks up and reads it to understand your child. Means you will have to literally write that you can never put a full sleeves t-shirt for my child.
Right.
You cannot touch the left bottom tooth of my child with a toothbrush, because that will trigger X number of things that you cannot control. And who knows that? Only you, the parent.
And this should be in the legal documents. जो legal documents है माता पिता के उनके साथ ही होना चाहिए.
Basically, ये जो document है, that has to be read along with your will and the trust, so that whoever is coming in and whoever is going to take care, as you're alive itself, start sharing the document to everyone.
Okay.
Best is make a Google Doc and share with everyone who you know is going to be in your child's life in the future, because they need to know today.
Yes.
क्या हो रहा है? अगर we are expecting one person to take care of our child as soon as we are gone, without knowing his life for the last 40 years of his life.
Right.
The sooner we involve them in our life, then we tell them, listen, he likes this, he doesn't like that. He likes this, he doesn't like that. He needs to do this. These people are the best people in their life. So this is a fantastic program that has been done by Sushma Nagarkar.
Okay.
Person-centric planning
Right.
is what she does so beautifully. Where she helps in design this. We have done this a number of times at Forum for Autism for parents to understand how to do this. Now that your child is an adult, what next?
What next? Right.
This is where you need to start writing down that this is the doctor. He has to go to visit this doctor so many times. डॉक्टर का नाम ये है, उसका नंबर ये है. अगर ये डॉक्टर नहीं है तो दूसरा इस डॉक्टर के पास ही जाना, उसके पास मत जाना. ये उसके थेरेपिस्ट हैं. ये मेरे गाइड्स हैं. As a parent, I have resorted to these people as my guides. इनको ही पूछना, ये बताएंगे. उनको पता है श्रवण की हिस्ट्री के बारे में. फिर देन उसी तरह फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर्स कौन है, लीगल में कौन है, सब लिख कर रखना. बैंक अकाउंट क्या है, तो ये सब बिल में आ जाएगा.
Right.
But still
be as a separate
better
document. Very true. Okay. Okay, that's very interesting, Chitra. God, so much stuff that you taught me today. Really, really amazing. Before we end, just one last question. Shravan अभी 22 साल का है और you have been one of the founding members of Forum for Autism, and like I said, always optimistic, always smiling. So जो newly diagnosed parents है, उनके लिए what is your secret to your smile? What is the advice that you want to give them?
Yeah, so I mean, everybody goes through their process. You will also go through your entire go through the whole process of acceptance. Accept fast. You know, as I shared with you, I must have cried that one day, half a day, but then I would have immediately decided what I wanted. So it depends on each one how emotionally placed they are, about how this hits them. I still know many mothers who are unable to accept, and you know they keep saying, "नहीं कुछ नहीं है, ठीक हो जाएगा, ठीक हो जाएगा, ठीक हो जाएगा." The faster, the quicker we accept that there is something amiss, get down to the nitty-gritties of it and try to figure out. Take help. Please reach out. We are there as a parent support group. Please reach out to us. Please reach out to various other parent support groups that are there. You know, you have interviewed so many people, right from, you know, Angelmans to you've also met with, who am I missing? Radhika.
Shalini.
Kedia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, and groups, reach out to parent support groups. They are so amazing, and stay in touch. That first gives you the feeling that I'm not alone. First thing is that I'm not alone. I can ask questions. I can ask any question and I'll have answers. We have so many WhatsApp groups, and as soon as somebody reaches out to us, they say we help them be part of this group. There's a WhatsApp group of age 5 to 7. There's a WhatsApp group of age 7 to 9. There's a WhatsApp group of western suburbs, of eastern suburbs. You know, that way. Please be part of this. So first is catch hold, latch on to these wonderful set of mothers who are there to help whoever is near you. Then, you know, reach out to therapists and talk very openly to your therapist. Most important is they are going to be there for you, and they will be there for a long time, perhaps. So please be very open with them. Please be mindful of the efforts that they are putting in for us. You know, don't think about us versus them. They are your team. Get everybody in your child's team together. I've learned this from many books and from Vibha. There has to be a team of all the people involved in your child's life need to know each other. And you should feel free to tell them, this person is doing this, you're doing this, you're doing that. And you know, how is it going to work as a synchrony for my child? And set those short goals, set those long goals, and dream big. Keep on dreaming that, you know, everything's going to be fine. Keep dreaming, keep taking those small, things of, you know, I used to always dream that Shravan is on a swing and, you know, we are sitting somewhere in Europe. And that it happened. So, you know, keep on dreaming more and more. Be much more positive. The negativity will hit us sometime, but, you know, get over it very quickly. Don't allow it to drain you down. And another important thing is pity for yourself. You know, I have seen many of people beating themselves and getting stuck there and unable to get out, because that is one such thing that just keeps on dragging you um, very very far away, and then you don't know how to overcome and come back being strong. Another important thing is having friends outside the autism community, your neighbors, your school friends, your college friends, your colleagues, wherever you work. Please openly talk to them, because they get scared to ask you what is happening, because they feel you feel offended. They feel उसको कैसा लगेगा. I have seen families where in two brothers, one brother doesn't talk to the other brother about the child and tells me, will you talk to my brother? So have you spoken to him? नहीं, मैं कैसे बात करूं? ऐसा नहीं होता है. So I think the autistic uh, entire population is pretty strong, and the families have to get together and have to talk it out with everyone around them and make everyone participative in strengthening their entire requirements for their child, and just be more open, have fun. Most important, have fun with your child. Very important. Autism is not it. It's just one of the small things. It's just that child is different, nothing else. Otherwise, it's just a child, and you have to spend and relax and chill out and have a good time, have a good laugh with your child. That's all I would say. Otherwise, I think my husband is a big one here to always keep me on track. Whether I did too much for Shravan, he would bring me back on track, saying, "You're doing too much, come back, because you're losing your sense of thing. Like, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that." There are always too many things to do, but prioritize. Think about what you want to do first. Talk it out with your spouse. Talk it out with the loved ones who are around you. That I'm planning to do this. I used to even take my niece to the speech therapist session, and if she found that she was harsh in her tone, she would tell me, "Chitra is the wrong person." So sometimes we get taken in and we feel that this is the right person for me. इससे बड़ा और कोई नहीं रहेगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है. It's not necessary. Don't take shit from people. Please put your foot down. Be very aware. Read a lot, but don't read garbage on Google. Don't try to be Google doctors. Go and take help from the right professionals. We have the best people in India. Please just get in touch with them, and they're available for us for help. And yeah, just go with the flow. Every day is a huge win for us. Every day that we are alive, every day that our child is with us is a huge win. Yeah, I think I spoke too much.
No, that was like a manifesto. You have no idea how many parents are going to listen to this and be inspired. I'm completely speechless in a sense. I really so beautifully put, Chitra. Honestly, it is just comes from the heart, and it is fantastic. Thank you very, very much for taking out the time between all the buying the sabzi and going to the birthday parties and Shravan and this and that for doing this. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks a ton for.
So delighted that you agreed to be part of this. So thank you so much again.
Entirely my pleasure. Thank you, and huge luck to you. Lots of wishes to your baby and to all your listeners.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
You were listening to the Special Needs Children podcast with Chitra Iyer, the CEO of MFA and a trustee with the Forum for Autism. If you find this podcast relevant and interesting, it will be great if you leave a review, share, like and subscribe. You can also let us know if there is any specific topic that you would like us to cover. Feel free to email her on chitra.iyer@myfinad.com, or you can call her on 98337 85892.